More chaos, more confusion as the Trump administration tries to roll back that widely rejected policy separating children from their parents. This morning, even as a senior Homeland Security official tells NBC News that 500 of those children have been reunited since May, the Pentagon has now been tasked to draw up plans to house up to 20,000 more migrant children on military bases beginning as early as July next month. All of this as the First Lady gets a first-hand look at this crisis.
This morning, a mother's mission. Melania Trump fresh off an unannounced trip to the border, visiting a temporary shelter for migrant children separated from their parents.
And I also like to ask you how I can help to these children to reunite with their families as quickly as possible.
The First Lady and the President on separate tracks. Mrs. Trump deploying herself as America's Secretary of Compassion. Her husband hosting his cabinet, hammering home his hard-line approach.
If we took zero tolerance away, you would be overrun you'd have millions of people pouring through our border.
President Trump both inviting Democrats to the White House and bashing them.
They're extremist, open border Democrats. It's a whole big con job.
Accusing them of demanding high-end shelters, but refusing to pay.
So they want us to take care of bed space and resources. Like, let's run the most luxurious hotel in the world for everybody.
Still unclear how to reunite those 2,300 plus children with their parents.
If you took zero tolerance away, everybody would come right now. They'd be getting their little belongings, unfortunately, and they would be heading up. You would have a run on this country the likes of which nobody's ever seen.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions insisting the Trump administration didn't plan on splitting up families.
The American people don't like the idea that we're separating families. We never really intended to do that.
But Sessions' own words delivered last month contradict that.
If you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you. And that child may be separated from you as required by law.
As for the First Lady's trip,
I want to thank you for your hard work.
Her office saying it was her decision, that she told her husband, "I'm headed down to Texas," insisting she wanted a realistic view.
That they don't know where they're at.
The First Lady spending time with those children with no cameras present. Mrs. Trump drawing attention not only for her message, but the graffiti-style words across her back, boarding for the border. That chain store cargo jacket reads, "I really don't care, do you?" Her spokeswoman criticizing reporters for asking about it, tweeting #SheCares, adding there was no hidden message. But the president saw one, tweeting that it's a reference to the fake news media. Melania has learned how dishonest they are, and, he writes, she truly no longer cares.
Peter, I mean, there is a long history of looking at first ladies and trying to interpret what they wear or criticize. I mean, in this case, there was a message. It was written in black and white right on the back of the jacket. I mean, what do we know about what she was trying to say? The president says she was trying to go after the media.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Savannah, nobody knows exactly what to make of it, but speak to anybody who knows Melania Trump, and they will tell you nothing the former model does is accidental. I reached out to her office overnight to see if they had any additional comment responding to the president's explanation of that message. They have said nothing more. One interesting note here, even after this controversy erupted, blowing up on Twitter, as you likely saw, Melania Trump put the jacket back on just in time for the cameras when she returned here to Washington, D.C. Back to you.
Peter Alexander, thank you very much.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.